My name is Cheryl McCarthy. I'm a Senior Research Fellow in Mechatronic Engineering at the Centre for Agricultural Engineering. I'm based at the University of Southern Queensland in Toowoomba, and all of my research is about developing new technologies using cameras and machine vision for use in agriculture. We're developing new technology using cameras and machine vision for monitoring flock health and early detection of potential health problems. We're using automated cameras on free-range farms to detect chicken health and behaviour, to generate alerts for the farmer about conditions that potentially warrant follow-up inspections from a vet.
My name's Janine Price, and I'm an environmental consultant working for Scalexia, and I work on environmental issues with agriculture and all different types of farms. So this project was using black soldier fly technology to convert agricultural waste into a high-value, beneficial products that could be used by producers on their farm. So basically, they would be producing the manure, converting it into a high-value fertilizer and using it back on the farm. So it's like a closed-loop system. So livestock in Australia produce really significant amounts of manure, and they've estimated that the cost of actually managing this manure for producers is about $100 to $200 million per annum to actually manage this material. So the black soldier fly technology uses black soldier flies, which are an introduced species. They're non-invasive, they don't bite, the adults don't have mouth parts at all, and they only have a lifespan of about 5 to 8 days. And it's actually their larva that can eat the manure. It has a very high efficiency in degrading it, and it can reduce the volumes by up to 80% within 19 days. And some of the flies have been known to reduce waste volumes by 50% in 24 hours. So if you can imagine a massive mound of manure, that is reducing it significantly by 80%. So what the actual flies produce, the larvae, I should say, once they eat the manure, they create frass, which is basically their fly poo or larva poo, and it's basically their excrement, their exoskeletons, and any waste products. And that material comes out very dry and stable. It doesn't have a lot of odor, and it's a really, really good source of fertilizer. So that can be used, and it can also be granulated and pelletized. So it can actually be put through the same machinery as farmers have on their farm at the moment to fertilize their crops and pastures. And fertilizing is an extremely expensive part of a farm's production system. Fertilizer costs, especially now, are going through the roof. And they need to use these fertilizers to actually grow crops, not only to feed us humans, but to also feed livestock. But also, for example, in the poultry industry, they need this material to actually provide bedding for in barn systems, for example, with the egg industry. So it's basically you're closing that system in terms of fertilizers to grow crops, but also grow materials to use back in the sheds as well.
Like I said, I studied maths and science at high school. I did mechatronic engineering. I was always really interested in research. Research allows you to be really creative and not do the same thing every day and make new knowledge and help lots of people. So I did a PhD when I finished my undergraduate degree. We have a research centre, or we have several research centres at our university, and one of them is where I work now, the Centre for Agricultural Engineering, and our focus is entirely on developing new technologies for agriculture. So when I finished my PhD, I had the opportunity to work on projects for industry, but I also had the opportunity to start writing new proposals to work in new industries and develop new projects. And that was really exciting because I could look through all the research priorities for all the different agricultural industries and see where I could apply my skills to help those industries. And it's just an opportunity for your ideas to run wild with what you could do with what you know and how you can be applying that in the real world. And I've been doing that ever since. What's most interesting in my career is, well, meeting farmers, for one thing. They're very important for our research, and engaging with them and making sure that we're answering questions that need answered. It's also really exciting to see how we can be applying these really advanced engineering concepts to agriculture. So I'm looking through techniques that are applied in all different kinds of industries and seeing how we can adapt them for use on farms. And that's really exciting. And it means that you have to be constantly thinking about how you can be using these technologies and, you know, adding your own spin to it so it will work in agriculture. And I always love working with plants and animals as well. It's just so much better to be outside than always sitting at a computer.
I think the most interesting experience for me is just seeing how adaptable and how changing things are from year to year. I started working in the poultry industry probably 15, 20 years ago, and then stepped back for a few years and came back into it. And it's just changed so much, the technologies that are in there. But also, one of the most exciting things for me, having studied environmental science, is just how passionate producers are to trying to make a difference in agriculture, and how nearly 30 years ago, that's showing my age, how environment was always left to the end of the day of a conference, or wasn't really spoken much about. So for me, the most exciting thing is seeing how that's really on the agenda now, and that producers are coming up with some fantastic and innovative ways of addressing it. So it's all about trying to maximize the production benefits while minimizing the environmental impacts. And for me, I think that's been the most exciting, is actually seeing how people have adapted and people are taking on board that new information and are being really progressive in that space.
Agriculture is really unique because to make advancements in production, you need novel new technologies from science and research laboratories, whilst at the same time you get to work close to nature in the great outdoors with plants and animals. Agriculture is critical to provide food for our population and has a range of different career options. I'm a mechatronic engineer working in agriculture. Agriculture is far-reaching. I'm even part of a research project about agriculture in space and growing plants for astronauts.
I personally accidentally fell into the agriculture space. I did environmental science at university, and my first job ended up in agriculture, and I have loved it ever since. It is so diverse, and there's a lot of multiple pathways that you can take, and you can also take those pathways once you've been in it for a few years. You might decide that you'd like to try something else, and there's so many avenues. There's research, there's project management, there's policy, there's education and extending the information to producers, there's production, husbandry, environmental engineering, and you have got that opportunity down the track to change direction. And for example, I've worked in research, extension, policy, research management, and now consulting. So I've seen all sides of it, and all of them have actually contributed to providing me with the knowledge to assist in the next stage of what I'm doing. So it's fantastic. You meet really interesting people. You learn new things all the time. Even from farmers, you learn a whole range of new things. You get to help people, and you get to help people produce the produce that we eat and buy in our supermarkets. We get to improve livestock, animal health, production, welfare, improve the environment. We get to travel all over Australia, and sometimes internationally. It's really creative and problem solving involved as well. So you never know what you're going to get from day to day. So it's definitely not boring. And you know you're making a difference, that you're helping people. And one of the best things is that you're not stuck in an office all day, every day. You get to go out there, you get to go on farms, you get to meet people, you get to visit research and work with all types of different people from all walks of life. And for me, I never imagined working in agriculture. I did not grow up on a farm. I grew up in Melbourne, and now I'm traveling all over the place, working with farmers, and it's just a really enjoyable, exciting, different, diverse industry to be involved in.
For anyone looking into developing a career in this field, my advice would be that just to go with what you're dreaming about, because you never know where you'll end up. Everyone's career path is different. It helps to have people around who you can get guidance from, but also don't be afraid if you have to start doing things differently to what other people have done, because the most exciting things happens when it's all brand new and you have the most impact then.
My advice would be to look into all the different pathways that could be in front of you, to talk to different people who are working in that industry. And a lot, like, we've had students come and work with us before, just to get a bit of an idea of what we do. And yeah, just really go for it. It's not as scary as it seems. Everyone kind of puts out that it's the environment's, it's all doom and gloom and things like that. But it's a really good opportunity to not dwell on the actual facts and figures, but to say, right, what can we do with the information and the technology that we have now to make a difference to the environment and to agriculture? And there is such a need out there for young people who have fantastic ideas, are really good at technology, not like us old people, and that can come in and really make a difference. And producers really embrace everybody from young people through to older people. So I think it's if you're looking at doing it, I'd say go for it, because it just opens up so many avenues and there's so many different things where you can actually make a difference.